Hi, hey, welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Tottenham Hotspur. Today we are going to be doing a review, or a preview rather, of the match between Tottenham and Manchester United, taking place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff 5:30 on Saturday evening, the 18th, or the 19th of August 2023. To join me to review that is Chuma, and he will be joining us on the other side. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome back. Welcome back. Chuma, how are you? Good afternoon, good day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching
uh, I'm abundantly blessed, Oji. Good day to Come On You Spurs Nation. As always, we always ask you for certain things at the start of every episode. If you could like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and leave your comments, and also ask us anything you'd like us to discuss or anything you'd like to see us do with the channel. Your thoughts are welcome. There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Week two of Ange Ball.
I know, I know, I know, I know. So where do we want to start with this? So first game away to Brentford. What you might call the first display of Ange ball in the Premier League. And I mean, of course, we had the post-match banter last week, and of course, we had plenty of comments and and talk about people's thought. We didn't get a chance. You didn't. You weren't at that program. But
Yeah, I
what did you
wasn't
think
there.
then?
Yeah. Well, I was I didn't watch the game live. I watched the replay of the entire game and with less emotion inside. And I was really impressed. And there are loads of comments out there, people saying, "Oh, we should have won," or maybe Brentford should have beaten us. But it was a very balanced game in the sense that I mean Tottenham had control. Barring the counter attacks of Brentford, which we're used to seeing. My goodness, it was beautiful to watch Spurs combination play. Bissouma just ran the part. Bissouma is so ready for this season. He's to me right now. He's a standout central midfield player in the league. I watched all the other games. He's just to me. He's so lively, you know everything just flows through him. His twists, his turns, it's like a combination of Dembele, Musa Dembele, and let's just say even Wanyama and him mixed together, because he has the size to shake you off. At the same time, he has the guile to hold that ball. You can't get it off him, and he makes these nice sharp short passes. And no, Bisuma to me was really standout. And Madison as well, great deliveries, always looking how he could create things. I saw a wonderful quote from our legend Glenn Hoddle saying Madison can see pictures that other people can't see on the pitch, and you could see it in that game. He was looking to unlock, and yeah, it was. I mean, early days. No one wants to hype Ange ball, but we saw everything we've been seeing in preseason. We've talked about the whole thing in preseason, the combination plays, the one-touch football, Sanchez coming on for Romero and playing very well himself,
Right,
passing, getting out of trouble from the back. My goodness.
right, for me, that was probably the highlight for me because it had me like, I mean, from what I was seeing on comments on the in the Spurs wall, of saying, "Oh crikey, we're gonna lose this match with Sanchez coming on," and him
Yeah,
starting out,
exactly.
playing so well in the match. I mean, some people will point also to the fact that okay, fine, maybe I mean he let the free kick, gave the free kick away, that led to the goal and all that sort of thing because he was caught out of position and all that sort of thing. But the truth of the matter is that look, first match away to Brentford. Brentford is always one of the worst places to go to in the league anyway. I mean, if you look at
They beat Man City, beat Liverpool.
yeah, if the history of Brentford is something to look at in the last couple of years, I mean, not a lot of teams have won there. The only two teams that won there last year were probably Arsenal and Newcastle, and they gave other teams a real hiding. I mean,
Heck of a
dealt
game,
helped
yes.
Man City home and away last season, beats Man United. I think it was 4-1 or 4-0. I mean, and Liverpool
Yeah.
they dealt with as well. So I mean, they're no mugs, if you like, So I
Hmm.
mean, everyone expecting you to go and roll them over is a bit too much, considering a first game in charge for Ange, and I thought we gave a good account of ourselves. Roll
Yeah, we
on
did.
Manchester United, first game
United.
at home for Ange Postecogou. How do you think it's going to set up for this match? Let's have a look at that. I mean, because for me, I mean, I would say more of the same, because if one of the reasons we didn't create that many chances or that many clear cut chances, even though we had a few chances, I mean, in the game, we had a lot of chances in the game. The what you might call really glaring open goal type chances that didn't come out was probably because the way Brentford set up, they set up in a low block, I mean, for two banks of four, and and a couple of from Wisa and Bueno, right?
Yeah,
So Mboma rather. So it's like I'm thinking, why you don't do low blocks? One, that's the first point. Secondly, they also try to play fun football. That's the nature of Ten Hag. So I mean, you're bound to get plenty of toe-to-toe type work on the match. I'm thinking that if they set up in a toe-to-toe formation, it's going to be a really exciting match for the neutrals, right? And plenty of heart and mouth
indeed.
for both sets of of, of fans. I mean, yeah, what do you reckon? Because I'm just excited about the process of what the match is going to look like from a visual perspective.
Yeah, I agree with you. Watching Manchester United in the Wolves game, I mean, their midfield was just, oh, goodness. Their midfield was like filter paper. It just everything just went through, and Wolves just, and you could see defensively they went sound. There are some things missing. They don't have a striker, a real number nine to hold the ball up. So you're looking at them and thinking, man, you were very gettable. Wolves had 23 shots at their goal, and Wolves were not, in my opinion, weren't even super attacking like Spurs were against against Brentford, because we had some shots at Brentford as well. We've been averaging anything up to 15 to 20 shots at teams. So, and I think we're more cohesive a unit than Wolves are. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be cat and mouse, because I think, mind you, don't play a low block, but I think they play a mid block and they try and counter attack a lot. So mid block literally meaning they're trying to get you from halfway line in back to your 18-yard box, and they look to break quickly, take advantage of Rashford's pace, Anthony Garnacho. But Anthony and Garnacho in that last match against Wolves were not very effective as well. So they have their issues. Um, I think it's proving that Ten Hag's teams are slow starters. This is second season in a row where he sort of looks like he's starting slow, even though he got the 3 points. But Tottenham, I don't know. I really fancy us in this game, because I think we have the tools. One of the things I noticed in the game against Brentford was the use of Oliver Skip. A lot of people, complained about Skip, and they said, oh, Skip was non-existent. Someone said he was like a piece of cardboard or something, and very stiff. But the reason is, I think Ange wants to play one creative, one holding midfielder in Bissouma, and then somebody who does the dog work, and that's where Skip comes in, and that's where comes in, because my mindset was, when he was taking off Skip in the game, I was like, oh, bring on Lo Celso, because Lo Celso can thread those balls, and you and I spoke off air as well. Lo Celso can thread those balls in. Richarlison is looking to play off the shoulder. If he could just get a through pass, But I think probably in this game as well, just to make up for the physicality, he might play Sa and not Skip. I don't know. I think it's either Sa or I would expect Lo Celso to come on. Those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at lineups in a minute in terms of how the potential what the starting 11 would look like. I mean, given the personnel that we have available to us, but Man United look a little bit short in their first match. They looked a little bit out of sorts for some reason. I don't know why, but all right. If you and I could have seen that, and the whole world saw that, for surely, I mean, Ten Hag will have seen that as well, and he will probably will make, or hopefully make some changes. I mean, well, hopefully not, but hey, make some changes to the team, you know, when it's coming up against us, and he would have obviously looked at us as well, and thinking, okay, this. But again, what I find with most top coaches is that they don't worry too much about their position. They worry more about themselves and how they're going to play out, you know. So, which is what I think Ange would also do as well in terms of how we set up against the opposition. Okay, maybe putting plans for maybe what you might call it danger areas. I mean, you have set plays and stuff like that. But in terms of saying, oh, I'm going to play my game to suit their game, I don't think Ange does any of that. I think he wants people to worry about us more than we worry about them, you know. And that's evident from the way that he has the front foot pattern setup. I mean, going by that, I mean, I think we like you said, I mean, we may get a slightly different personnel executing the same set of instructions against Man United on Saturday evening. So let's kick off. Plenty of excitement. You know, like Chuma said at the start of this program, if you're here for the first time, remember to subscribe, remember to like, and remember to share this with your community. We want to obviously get the word out there to let people be aware of what we do here. And I think we're probably I think we consider ourselves to be very, very positive Spurs fans.
No, we are. No, we're not even trying to market it as we always end up with very positive views on, and it's not that we deliberately set out to be positive, but I can see no drawbacks in the direction Spurs are going now. There was negativity last year, but since the summer, we've just been overtaken by this coach who, in my opinion, is so emotionally intelligent, he's so well prepared and organized that even with setbacks or obstacles or different adverse situations, he doesn't focus on that. He focuses on the things in his control. And for us, having had Mourinho and Conte, who are quite emotional gentlemen in different ways, shapes, and forms, it's such a welcome thing for us as Spurs fans.
It's a refreshing change of college, right?
Refreshing, exactly. And so you have no choice. I honestly think when I read a lot of the material on Spurs online on X or Twitter, or I think these people set out to, there's this whole thing of, if you look for a problem, you will find it.
Clearly, yeah.
But if you're quite solution focused, you also find solutions. And I think you and I share that in the fact that, yes, we could have our odd takes about Spurs, but overall, like, I don't profess to be ENIC out or anything. I have my issues with ENIC and how they run the club, Daniel Levy as well, and how he's run the club. But I'm not ENIC out. But it's just this thing now where it's like this huge division we've got. And I hear there's going to be a demonstration before the game tomorrow. I don't know what shape or form it's going to take.
Really?
But yeah, there's going to be a bit of a, supposedly it's been going around online that there's going to be a bit of a, and all these things I could do without. Ange could do without it as well. I just think we've made the right appointment, and if nothing else, forgetting acquisitions. And people say, but you need, no. I'm watching a guy who, I wrote earlier on to someone that they were asking about Vicario online, and the guy said he's getting like split opinions on Vicario. That Vicario is rubbish. Some people say no, he was quite good. I said no. I was very encouraged. He made very good passes with his feet into pressing. Like they were pressing him and he passed through the press. Impressive. The goals weren't necessarily his fault, and I can see him growing. You could see him talking. You could see him talking to his back four, And I said that, look, you have a coach in Ange Postecogou who took Joe Hart. Joe Hart was bombed out of Manchester City because Pep Guardiola felt this guy can't use his feet. He can't help me in build up. And Ange Postecogou got him to be a build up keeper, albeit not the best. But he got Joe Hart to function in that role, to think like, look, you can do it. And here's Vicario, who I think is infinitely more talented than Joe Hart is. All due respect, Joe Hart has achieved a lot. But I think Vicario is more talented than him as a keeper, and his potential, his ceiling is higher. So, what can Ange do with Vicario as well? Those are the things that you look forward to in the season.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a need for us to sort of have a few more changes in personnel in the team, and Ange has more or less alluded to that in his press conferences and his talk, and it's sort of focused mainly that okay, maybe we probably need one more centre back, and that some people need to be shipped off, right? There's also the talk in some quarters that okay, we've got in quote all that hurricane money, right? And that we've got to go out and spend it, right?
Hurricane money.
Exactly. And then on the other hand, some people also say that in actual fact, the so-called hurricane money has already been spent. Because if you look at the acquisitions of Pedro Porro, Kulusevski, and even Van de Ven, those more than account for the so-called hurricane money, if you like, right? And we bought in Madison as well now, so chances are that in terms of actual spend, we may not have that much left to spend in that from that point of view. And when you listen to Ange Postecogou's press statement and post hurricane sale, right? It's very revealing because what he said was that look, we all knew he was going to leave anyway, but the truth of the matter is that he never let that out, you know. And if you also listen to Hurricane's interview as well, he also said that he was pushing to go. From the get go. So everyone knew he was going to go internally, but they never made it public, right? Now, from a negotiation perspective, that was the perfect hand for Tottenham's negotiating team because, as far as we're concerned, it's not for sale. that was the rhetoric coming out of you know. But again, I mean, you saw Bayern trying to sort of take him for next to nothing, and they wouldn't have it, you know. Yeah. Even though I mean, he knew he wanted to go, but hey, you've got to pay what is due, and ended up getting something that we got for him. I think was a masterstroke in negotiation. Some people will argue that maybe they should have let him go earlier so they could get the changes in earlier and all that sort of thing. But in these things, right, when you have a player who wants to leave, right? Also, ultimately, from a negotiation perspective, right? I mean, you're most likely going to try and push the price down as low as possible, right? But you can't get away with that with Mr. Levy, right? So some people say to you, okay, you should have taken a footballing decision, you know, and let him go earlier. And I'm thinking to myself, and lose £20 million or lose £30 million or £40 million? Hello, who does that?
No, and it's increasingly looking that way when you look at the Premier League and you're seeing what Chelsea are doing. What Chelsea's done to Liverpool twice.
Yeah.
You know, where they literally hijacked, you know, they call Chelsea Hijack FC now. They just literally come in, offer a long-term deal of 10, 12 years to the player. But the thing about the Hurricane thing that I found very fascinating was Ange's comments as well, that he already knew because in his conversation with Harry Kane told him, look, I'm leaving. I want to leave. And I love what he said. He said, I'm the kind of guy that I'm not going to pitch myself to you. Because in most cases, the coach is saying, no, give me a chance. I'm really good. And he said, no, like the guy made up his mind and I respect it, you know. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this man is saying to himself, wait till you see what I'm going to do. While you're away, you'll glance back
and you
and
want
you'll
to
see
say,
what
I
I'm
wish
going
I
to
was
do with
here.
your same
I wish I was part of this,
teammates.
you know?
Yeah, you know, but it will be what it will be because I think part of it is, you know, if let's say Ange was Pep joined Tottenham tomorrow, would Harry Kane move? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't move because
that's a fair
he's
point.
someone. Also didn't move when Conte arrived. So Ange's mindset, in my opinion, is like, you think I'm not as good as these guys. I believe I am. I know I am, and I just have to show it to you. But you'll be gone, but you'll see it. And that's the thing. If I was big enough, I wouldn't have to tell you to stay. You just look at me and go. And I think Harry Kane had respect for him though, because I think if truthfully Bayern hadn't come up with the money, Harry Kane was willing to stay and willing to train, which is the whole point. You know, I think he respected Ange enough to say, if you don't pay this money by this time, forcing Bayern's hand to raise the amount of money they were going to pay. So if you don't pay by this time, I will start the season. If I start the season, my family and I are not moving. And and Hurricanes made the jump now. So, you know, we'll see where that leads him.
Absolutely. So we are now second game of the season rolling in. Hosting Man United at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What do you think? How do you think we're going to line up?
Well, I would say I think Vicario, of course, is our starting goalkeeper. So I think Vicario is still in there. I think Emerson did very well in that game. Apart from just scoring the goal, he's really taken to this inverted role like a duck to water. He really enjoys it. It limits his weaknesses and highlights his strength. He's defensively very strong. He's good enough to pass the ball. He's good enough to form overloads as well. And I can see you smiling. So he's an optimus starter now.
I mean, I'm thinking to myself, hang on. This is not the Emerson that was spoken of in very, very, glowing terms. Welcome to us, yeah.
Like I said to everybody who's accused me of backtracking, I said no. I said I've always insisted he was a good fullback. I said he was a horrible wingback. The two things can exist. He's a horrible wingback. And likewise, I think Pedro Porro's problem is Pedro Porro is a good wingback. He's not a very good
Right back.
right back or full back. So therein lies the thing. You're not having to, he's having to struggle, or he's more challenged to find the solution for himself. But I think I would have Emerson ahead of Porro. I would use Porro in certain games against probably lesser opposition. While he's still defensively, I think he has a lot to work on. But defensively, Emerson is very sound and he does the stuff in midfield easy. Um, Udogi is just, he's phenomenal in my opinion. Like I watch him in preseason and it's like he's been at Spurs for the last 4 or 5 years. He's just that kind of guy, up and down, no complaints, no whining, no whinging. He gets kicked a bit, he just gets on with it. He's a machine, and that's what we like. So he's in there. Romero, he probably felt a bit hard done by being taken off, but I think Ange made the right decision because watching him after the the head collision and then head, could see him blinking several times, like concussion blinking, and when he scored the goal, and you just knew there was something wrong or something up there. So yeah, Romero needed to be taken off. But I'm very happy to see him and Van de Ven. I thought Van de Ven was excellent alongside Sanchez, who was also very good as well. Van de Ven, I think, three three or four training sessions and already up to speed, in my opinion. He looked good. He looked really, really good. So I would
So
expect him to start.
that's
So
your
my
back for
back
your
four
back
would
four
be
would be Romero, Van de Ven,
mhm,
Udoge, and Emerson flanking
and
them on
Emerson. Yeah,
both wings, right? All right.
yep,
So
yep.
and possibly on the bench for the defense, you probably have Sanchez, guys.
I would have Sanchez. I would have Sanchez, and I'd have Davies. So I'd have Sanchez and Davies and Tanganga if possible. But yeah, but
Right.
Sanchez
No
and Davies
Poro.
are the two people. Oh yeah, and Poro, of course. Yeah, yeah. So
Right.
I'd have Poro. Yeah, if we're
Right.
going to have another 11 on the bench, then it's literally
Right.
Poro,
No that.
Davies. No Dyer for me. I don't know why. I just think Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer. I like Eric Dyer. To be honest with you, I'm not. I like Eric Dyer, but I want Eric Dyer to go back to midfield. I don't want him to stay in the defense. I want him to be a substitute for defensive midfield. I don't know why, but I think he has better passing range, and I think he's safer in midfield than he can't do the Bissouma turns and all that, but he can play a stable defensive midfield position, in my opinion, which is why he was good in the middle of the back three. So I would move him back to midfield, but as a sub.
Interesting. Right. So here we are. We have the back four of Emerson, Van de Ven, Romero, and Udogie. Right. In the midfield, right. So last week he played Bissouma in the middle and had Emerson and Skip flanking him. Now this week, I mean, I'm thinking to myself that he'll probably maintain the same lineup, but he may bring on. I'll go for maybe he brings on Lo Celso for Skip for this match. What do you think?
So I don't know why I think that he will start. He may want to keep the same side because of just generally getting them familiarized with themselves, like familiarization. That they're all familiar. But for me, I think Sa would be suited to this game because Sa with Manchester's midfield, you want to dominate and own them. Skip is good, but there's a certain level to which I think Sa is. Sa is very good at preventing chances from being created. He's very good at pressing. He uses his long legs to high effect, and he's very good at breaking the lines and advancing the ball. So I don't know why I think Sa would be the start. Sa, Madison, and Bissouma, and then Sa would be taken off for Lo Celso if we're looking for more goals or we want to be more attacking. That's my midfield.
Interesting. All right, so there's a lot of creativity there, and there's also a lot of strength there. So no place for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, right?
No, no. Well, the rumors are that he's literally 90% of the way through completing his move to Atletico Madrid. Those are the rumors online at the moment that it's a go. It's a here we go. You know. So
Right. The
yeah.
front three. Right. We had Richarlison spearheading the attack with Kulusevski and Son on both sides, on either side of him. And we found last week that he didn't get a lot of supply from those two guys that flanked him on the wing, and neither did they also create a lot of opportunities for themselves to score either. All right, I think he had there was one shot which Son had, which I thought maybe he could have done better. You know, went in the side netting. You know, if that ball had gone in, it would have been sensational. But hey, I thought that he didn't really create much for Richarlison either. And again, first match in charge, playing against a team with a low block, probably struggled a little bit to come in and and impose themselves. They seemed all predictable all game long, and they had almost the panacea, if you like, to curb them. Brentford had the panacea against that form of attack. Is Ange going to change it in this game, or do you think he's going to retain the same thing, or bring someone like Manu Salomon on, or was he going to sort of keep the same lot that he had in the first match?
I think he will. I actually think virtually, even though we are saying what we're saying here, I said about Sa coming in. I think these are two different teams he's playing in his first two matches. So one was a low block kind of counter team. This is more mid. So it's the only way you can test your players to see what they're suited to or suited for by letting them just play. So he might keep the same side. I personally, I would, because of the fact I think it's Luke Shaw that's playing as left back for Manchester United. I would want to test Solomon on. I would like to put Solomon on him just to terrorize him a bit, and see if he can hold on. So I'll put him on. And one of the things is, if one of the wingers is hugging the touchline, the other winger can become more creative or come into that half space. So that's why Son's problem is Son is trying to be a winger and he's not a winger anymore. But because Kulusevski's also been creative, Son has to hug the touchline. So when Son has someone on the other side hugging the touchline, he can come inside a bit more. And that to me, I think is more my speed. I think I would love to see Solomon because I think it would help Heung-min Son. He wouldn't have to bother himself being the guy. And then also too, Udogi can over overlap him a bit more, and that allows him come inside to take a shot. I think he had two chances where he could have scored. There was a chance you spoke about that hit the side netting, and there was a chance in the first half. Ironically, Kulusevski started it. It was one touch football, and then it got to him. Emerson got into the box, and Emerson squared it, but Emerson squared it too hard, so he couldn't hit it one time. If Emerson had played that pass a bit softer, there's a way Son would have hit it first time, but Son tried to kill it and then hit it, and the Brentford defense now got the block in. But those are the two chances he had in the game, and someone of Son's caliber can have more. I think there is a confidence issue. People are forgetting this is like only the second or third game he's going to be playing since his surgery. I think he's not fully there. Not saying physically, not physically fit, but there's just this thing he's warming up for it, and I think he'll still have a fabulous season. It's just right now, yeah, he needs somebody else whipping in crosses from the other side. And Kulusevski is also like him. Kulusevski is very creative. He keeps coming back on his left foot. Some people say it's predictable and he's been found out, which I find hilarious. I don't think he's been found out. I just think when you play against certain teams, it nullifies what he does, and he has to find another way. But in my opinion, even if both of them start, I think they'll still have a good game. Kulusevski's had some good games against Manchester United. I think he can continue.
Yeah, thanks for that. I love the analysis. Like I said, get involved in the conversation. Leave your comment in the comment section below and tell us what you think about this team that we've sort of put out there. I mean, so we're gonna have possibly Richarlison, Kulusevski, and Son. That's a lineup for the attack. So overall, from let's just take it from the back four. So we're having Vicario. We're having so that's what we're going for. Vicario,
Emerson,
Emerson, um, what's the
Romero,
name?
Van de Ven,
Romero, Van der Vaart,
Romero, Van de Ven,
and
Udogi,
Udogie
back four.
back four, right? So interesting. So yes, and then we have in the midfield. That's what we need to sort of be clear about with that one. So
So
yeah, you go.
Bissouma definitely.
Okay, Bissouma is like
Bissouma. Yeah. Oh, he's the first name on the sheet in my opinion.
And Madison almost yeah like a shoe in, right? So we were saying that Madison and Bissouma look like a ready shoe in, right?
Right, 100%.
Right. So the question then becomes, who is the third man that midfield? Who's the third part of the wheel?
He may end up being Skip because I think he'll keep faith. I think he likes Skip. I think Ange likes Skip, and if we go by, I would like to think that Manchester United. I'm not saying they're going to play like Barcelona did in that last friendly, but imagine that they are more expansive than Brentford, right? So if Manchester United play like Barcelona did, or they come for us in the same way Barcelona did, you have to look at someone like Skip and how Skip took advantage of that game. So Skip could be quite useful. I just want but it's up to you. Who do you think will make the last one?
I think it's gonna keep to the same starting 11,
Yeah,
like I said the last time. Now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
a lot of people have this negative thing about Skip, but I like Skip actually. And the reason I like Skip is this, he's very underrated, and a lot of people don't see the sort of hard work that he puts in the midfield. And it's very, very good positionally. He knows how to, he can bump forward and can bump back. Okay, maybe he will not be necessarily be your Dele Alli type person in quotes, but the two times he's been called upon to do that, he's been effective. I mean, I've seen to myself, interesting. Who would have thought that Skip could bomb in and come in from deep midfield and score goals? And he's done that twice already. I mean, I think to myself, okay, right. Let's see that happen in match situation, right? So here's someone who's like academic trained. Came straight from our academy. I mean, and he went up to Norwich, and I mean, he was like the star player. I mean, for Norwich for that year. I mean, probably one of the players of the championship in that season before he came back. And one thing I like about him is that he's got this very easy personality, and at the same time, he is no frills. He just does what he needs to do. Just very, very calm, cool, and collected. And you don't become an England regular if you're as under 21 regular. I mean, it's not small beans, and they won the European Championship to boot, beating the likes of Italy on the way, that had destiny in the side. So no more. So yeah, I think Skip is a good player, which we should value him more. Yeah, that's my thoughts. So yeah, I think we'll probably end up with Skip in the starting lineup. Score predictions. Now, I know that there's going to be plenty of people who would say that okay, Man U probably roll us over. It's interesting how you listen to people and how they sort of say okay, fine. I mean, we have no chance of doing well this season. Okay, if we do well, we'll probably end up being eighth or so. Okay, fine. Let's see how it goes. I love it when we prove all those doubters wrong. But let's one game at a time, isn't it?
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
What are your thoughts?
Well, there was like I said to you off yesterday on Talksport, a Tottenham fan came on and predicted 3-1, and not just any kind of 3-1. He goes like a 3-1 of pure, total, absolute domination. I won't go as far, but I also listened to this wonderful statistic the other day that I think Ange's team always average more than 2 goals per game. That it's very rare to have him in a victory. Like he draws, fair enough, 1-1, maybe 0-0, maybe, but in a win, his teams are scoring two or more. So I'm looking at that as a scoreline, either 2-1 or I back the 3-1 as well. I think if Tottenham get two, he's going to be pushing for three. He's going to be relentless. Like he doesn't want us to rest on a thing. Normally I would go like, oh, if this was in the previous era, I'll take a 1-0. I'll take, but I think if we get to 2-1, he wants three. Defensively, I think Manchester United can take advantage of our high line with Rashford, but you've got people like Romero covering, and Van de Ven has real top speed to block him. So maybe it wouldn't be too much of a problem. Midfield, I loved how we conducted ourselves in midfield against Brentford. And I look at those midfielders, I look at Bissouma as well, and look who's Bissouma going to be up against, Casemiro. I think he can handle his own against Casemiro. I think if he's got Skip by his side as well, the more the merrier. And then you got a supreme passer and Madison is looking forward to the game. Madison's like he can't wait to play in front of the home crowd, and it's that kind of enthusiasm that you've been looking for the creative outlet, but then we find that the creative outlet is happy to play for us. Those two things are a very, very, very amazing cocktail, and I look at it and I just think, yeah, so chances created. I think Richarlison. We didn't talk about Richarlison. I think he's come under a lot of you know flack. There's a lot of Richarlison slander out there in the Spurs world, and beyond. There are several Arsenal fans that like enjoy digging at him. But in my opinion, I think the game didn't suit him last week, the first game. But I think this one, if it's more open, I've always been someone that I like Rafael Varane, but I don't really think he's the great defender that everyone says he is. I think he's very good. Don't get me wrong; he's won all these wonderful medals at Manchester United. But I look at defenders and I like to think of the ones that are gettable. And there's a mistake or two in Rafael Varane, especially now that he's no longer playing alongside Sergio Ramos or any of these big names. He's playing alongside either Martinez or Lindelof, and they can all be gotten. So I'm looking for Richarlison to score as well. I'm looking for Richarlison and Son to score. I'm even going to go as far as say Richarlison and Son to get on the score sheet, and Tottenham to win by 2 goals or more.
Great stuff. I couldn't agree more. Honestly, I just sort of I mean in the Optimus Primus mode. As always, yes. So that's thank you for that. If you guys at home, what do you reckon scoreline that we predicted? It would be nice to see hear it would be nice to hear what you guys think. We have gone for the optimistic outcome. Solid side in terms of the setup, attacking front foot with. I mean, Ange takes no quarter. We join him very much in that, and looking forward to a positive scoreline when we play them at the at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Just by the way, this is a big aside. I don't know if you know anything about this, but what's going on with the naming rights of the stadium? It's almost how many years now? Almost 3 years now. Come on,
we don't even have a sporting director yet. You're talking of the naming rights. that we don't have a sporting director. That was supposed to have been accomplished this summer and everything else. We haven't seen Scott Munn, the new chief football officer. He's though there were pictures of him. I think he came to the Brentford game. I don't know if that was true. He was at the Brentford game, but we haven't seen head or tail of the guy. And so the naming rights is still, I don't know why. I think the naming rights would probably be, this is just my opinion, it would be to whoever is going to buy the club.
Okay.
That would be their thing.
Yeah, how that goes. Good way to end this.
Fingers crossed, Elon Musk. Just
I know.
Do the right thing. Tesla Stadium. The Tesla Stadium.
The X Stadium.
The X Stadium at White Hart Lane. He could do all that. We're willing to take your money, sir.
Anyway, it's good to have you guys. Good to have you on. Thank you, Chuma. And we'll see you on the live broadcast. Are you coming for the live broadcast? Post match.
Yeah. Well, no, Saturday. We'll see. Stay tuned.
No problem at all. All right, take good care and God bless you. Come on, you Spurs.
God bless you. All right. Come on, you Spurs.